Hi, I am Mike of New Dice. This is the Kerbal Space Program. Mission Egg Basket. Look at that. Is orbiting just Eve, which is way down there. I think that's Eve. And what we are doing is we are approaching about as far out as I can get. Let's put the user interface back in again. The idea to get as far out as possible such that I will be able to reverse my direction around Eve, because it turns out that the Gilly's going the opposite way around to the way I'm going, and because I want to get to Gilly. So getting to Gilly is going to be really hard if it's going around Eve one way and I'm going around Eve the other way. So I'm going around Eve clockwise from this angle, and Gilly's going anti-clockwise. So we're going to go here, because that's about as far as from Eve as you can get and still be within Eve's sphere of influence. That means the orbital velocity is going to be very slow, and that means that it's going to be much less delta V to turn around. What I'm also going to do, I have decided, as I slowly try and maneuver my craft towards the maneuver node, I think this might be a good time to drop off everything that's going to go to Eve as opposed to Gilly. My logic, such as it is just as because I want to get into a polar orbit of Eve and the polar orbit of Gilly. And this is probably the time when it's going to be cheapest to do so. So I think what I'm going to do is, there's a bunch of different ways I can do this. One is, as I get towards the maneuver node here, because the maneuver node is 342 meters per second, and that's to nearly but not quite completely reverse my direction. I'm not going. You can see how wide my blue orbit is, and the brown orbit is much narrower. So I'm not fully reversing. I'm only going part way. My resultant orbit isn't going to be as high as my current orbit. I can just drop them here. It's going to be what? Well, it's probably going to be the same amount of delta V in the end to get a similar kind of orbit, only polar. So what? 342. That's basically 170. So 170 to actually stop, as far as Eve is concerned, and then another 140 to go in the other direction. There's probably a reason why I shouldn't do it that way, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. That means that each individual one of these probes. Let's go in this side where the sun is. Each individual one of these probes then is going to have to spend 342, give or take, delta V. They each have at least 900, so that's not a problem, really. Or what I could do is get to the maneuver node, get to like the minute before I need to go. Spend 100 and whatever, 170 odd delta V. Basically do half the burn, then drop all the satellites. Continue with the burn. So everything that's going to Gilly continues on, and everything that it's staying at Eve is staying at Eve. And that means that each individual probe at that stage has its full delta V, and each individual probe then only needs to put itself into a polar orbit. This is still going to be a bit of a pain. I'm not just dropping off the probes. I'll be dropping off the landers as well. Where are they? No. I'll be dropping off that lander, the main lander. That's the one I'll be dropping off. Yeah, so those little landers, they're going to land on Gilly. Have I put scientific? I've put at least one scientific instrument on this. I put some. Okay, cool. I started looking at them. I was like, have I put enough scientific instruments on those things? I haven't. I don't think I put atmosphere things on those ones. I should have done, because you can get that from these. Oh well. Bit late to think about that now. Now, given that I've balanced everything, so there's the whole to make this craft balanced. I'm going to want to, as much as possible, drop one of each from each side, because that's slightly complicated by the fact that these are on their own side. Oh, no, these are also on that side, so I can drop those off. I'm going to bring up my infernal robotics. Open these up. I love infernal robotics. It is. I think it's, of the various mods that I've added, this is it's one of my favorites. There you go. So I'm going to be wanting to drop like that one, and not those two on the same side. And similarly, as much as possible, I'm going to want to drop that one, and that one. Oh no, sorry, that one and that one, because those two landers are going off at the same time, regardless. So that my craft will be vaguely balanced when it does the second one. So, either way, I think either way it's going to be slightly aggravating to do, because I'm going to want to either drop them all now, and then individually get the ones that are going around Eve, get them into the polar orbit that I'm wanting. Or I'm going to want to get to, more or less stationary, drop them, get back to the main craft, finish its burn, and then get back to get back to the various satellites and then rearrange. I think I'm going to do it that way. I think that is actually going to be easier, because essentially I'll be burning halfway, dropping them off, resuming the burn, and then they've got ages to drop, and then and for me to arrange a proper orbit. I think I'm going to do it that way. So step one, therefore, is get rid of the infernal robotics. I need that now. Oh, I can't see the icon. Where's the icon? That's interesting. Yeah. All right. Right. So step one. Next step is to fast forward to burn time, really? You'll keep complaining about, yeah. So basically, when my blue orbit, pretty much, when it becomes a straight line, I want to quickly drop off satellites I'm not going to drop off the lander, I don't think. I'm going to leave the lander until I get into this orbit, because I want to drop that on a fairly standard orbit of Eve, and in fact it doesn't have much of a actually I'm going to have to think about the Eve lander. I'm going to think about how I'm doing that. I have definitely lost the Infernal Robotics icon. Yeah, well, I guess that is staying up there for a while. Alrighty then, so I've got about a minute to go before doing this. Right, let's just do a quick save. Let's just do a quick save. Get the alarm clock out of the way, don't need that just now. Fast forward a little bit until it's about a minute to go. Well, sorry, until it's about 10 seconds to go. So I've got to burn for about 20 seconds. And then I'm going to throw things off the back of my spaceship, which may confuse the maths a little bit, but never mind. Right. 2, 1, go. So, shrinky shrink. I'm going to quickly pop into map mode. Oh, that's interesting. My Infernal Robotics thing disappears when you're in map mode. I presume that. I suppose that makes a certain amount of sense. You don't really want to be opening and closing things is kind of irrelevant if you can't see them. So you want to be in ship mode when that happens. But that's interesting. That means that the you can't, if you got a panel up, it doesn't. You would therefore, I would personally, if I was making the mod, make that disappear when you're not actually in map mode. When you're not in ship mode. If you're in map mode, that panel is probably useless. There you go. I'm just babbling while this happens. And it's all about when I want to go. Really, pretty much when that becomes a straight line. Right. So now map mode. Not map mode, ship mode. Okay, so, and we are going to manually grab the various. Oh, and I'll have to. This is going to be slightly aggravating because I'm going to have to. Every time I do that, when it looks like it's going to go to. Right. Am I now on my ship? Right, I am. Okay, so that's gone. And now I want that one. And then I want that one. I could do with them drifting slightly further away now, I think, though. That one's far enough away, that's fine. Now, am I still on? I am. Right, so I've lost the maneuver node now. And what I'm hoping is I don't end up smashing my, because now I'm pointing the wrong way. I don't want to hit the satellites that I've just liberated. So I've caused confusion to my maneuver node, which is to be expected, really. Right, so they're all drifting away nicely. That's good. Could do with that one drifting a little bit further. Because I'm about to start accelerating away. So you can see my orbital speed is really low, 1.8 meters a second. So I'm just going to get myself pointing the right way. Now I think I am right. I am now free of the various bits and pieces, so I can just go all out. And in many ways, I don't much care. It's mostly my concern is, am I going to get a reasonable periapsis height around? What's it called? Eve. Because at the moment, I'm kind of. Oh, that's interesting. That's not necessarily what I wanted. Oh, and I'm getting a polar orbit, which is entertaining. I'm going to go with that. I'm right. Fine. Oh, I know what's happened. I know what's happened. Arg. Oh, I know what's happened. That's extraordinarily irritating. What's happened is I've latched onto a core that is pointing the wrong way. Arg, 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 arg. Nuts. Yeah, okay, so I need to get, so my maneuver node is now balked. I'm now going the wrong way. Okay. Possibly something I could have anticipated, but I didn't, so there you go. Right, I would like to be able to set a maneuver node, please. Why aren't I being able to set a maneuver node? I want to set a maneuver node so I can work out what, which way I want to go to go the way I want to go. Right, so, oh, the hell? Have I only got the one? Right. There we go. I want to go that way. So I mean, I'm fairly sure. Oh, yeah, I've got lots of delta V. I think I'm fine. And then, come on. Lordy Lord. Being aggravating. Maybe We need to go radial. Oh Lord, I don't know what direction I want to go in. Because I need to get vaguely all but broken. Right, let's zero that out. There's a thing I would love on. There's a thing I would thoroughly love is just a zero out button. Okay, so ooh, likey. All right, let's do that. Lots of things I could have done so much better about this craft. Well, it's all a learning process. I mean, eventually I'm going to want to send mapping satellites to like Joule and get all the various planets there. Well, moons. Right, I'm not actually going to wait for the maneuver node itself. I'm just going to do it now. Oh, hang on. Oh, will I be going the wrong way? I'm going to be going the wrong way. So, okay, that's better. Now this is an interesting thing where there comes a point where sort of, in terms of, you know, changing your elliptic, changing your inclination, it kind of swaps around between prograde and the normal and anti-normal. There's a point where I mean, it's essentially gimbal lock, I think. Oh wait, is that? Would I be going around? I don't know what's going on. Let's get back to where I was before. So that is, in fact, no, I will be going the correct way around if I go that way. Okay, fine. And I'll need to fiddle things later on, but right. Okay, do I need? What's my periapsis apoapsis going to be? Probably not enough, but I can sort that. Okay. I'm fairly sure NASA doesn't have to do this. Well, NASA can't do this kind of thing because NASA is dealing with all sorts of things like the speed of light difference between well, the speed of light. So you know, you can't. They don't have real time control. So if NASA had ended up doing this kind of stupidity, then that would have been, that's the mission gone. You know, if you suddenly go, oh right, we're now the wrong way around the planet. That's like, well, tough. Right, what is my periapsis size? My periapsis height is currently not big enough. Okay, so that's going to be another maneuver. But now I am. Now I'm in reasonably the right position. I should be able to sort that. Now I need to give myself a reasonable... Oh, that's loads actually. I don't need to be going anything like that much. 8 kilometers. 80 kilometers. Let's go for 100. No, my parameters. Oh, oh wait, no, that's 10,000 kilometers. That's loads. That's ridiculous amounts. Can I focus on Eve? Really like to be able to focus on Eve at the minute. Right, so okay. So actually, no, I'm fine. I don't need to play with anything. I'm fine. Let's forget that. I've got a perfectly fine... In fact, my paraps is a bit high. But I can sort that later. All right. Phew. Okay. I have, with a great deal of effort, gotten something resembling a workable orbit. I now have to go and rescue all of my other craft and give them... Ooh, look at that. Lovely debris field. Because that's all the various different craft with their now currently crashing into Eve velocities. So I just need to sort those and everything will be brilliant. That's this episode done. So thanks so much for watching. Please hit like and subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. Tell other people. Hire skywriters. Put out adverts in the Times. You know, depends how enthusiastic you're feeling. You can find Neil Love at neillovedice.com. We're also on Facebook and Twitter. Follow us there. And until next time, reach for those stars and actually do your homework beforehand and try not to go around things the wrong way.